Today on Geek Devotions, it's going to be a bit of a circus while we talk about community. Hello and welcome to Geek Devotions, a show from devoted geeks who are devoted to letting people know that they are loved. I am Celeste and we are so glad that you are here today. Thank you for hitting the play button for whatever reason that you did that. Thank you. Don't forget to check out all of our other stuff. We have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have all the socials. We have a website with some really cool merch on there. Not this shirt, but other cool shirts. And we have our Twitch channel and we have our podcast. All things that you should check out. Today we are continuing on with our summer sing-along and talking about The Greatest Showman. The Greatest Showman is a musical based off the life of P.T. Barnum. Loosely. There's some historical inaccuracies that they did for the movie, but knowing P.T. Barnum, I think he'd be okay with it. Because he is nothing more than a con man who succeeded in finding something that brought people joy. Honestly, I thought the movie was entertaining, but if you want to hear more about our thoughts on the movie, you'll have to check out next week's podcast. Now, if you care about spoilers, you may want to pause the video, go watch the movie, go do some research on P.T. Barnum's life before we continue, because we're going to talk about something that actually was historically accurate, ish. So that is your spoiler warning. In the movie, you see Barnum do some crazy risks, some crazy things, and in the end, one of the biggest risks he made didn't pay off. He lost his house at the bank. He hadn't told his wife that he had leveraged the house to get the money they needed for this show he wanted to do. So she didn't find out. The bank told her. The building where the circus was had burned down due to some riots, and he's just lost everything. He has no collateral. He can't convince a bank to give him money on anything. And he's depressed. He's sad. He's failed his family. He's failed his troupe. And he just is at a loss. And so you see him at a bar drinking. Not entirely sure how he's paying for that because that's how broke he is. But you see him there, and all of a sudden, the people in his troupe come in. The performers, the actors, the people who were the stars of the show. They all show up and they tell him, even our own families did not want to be seen with us. They wanted to hide us away. They wanted to reject us. And you gave us a family. Don't give up on us. So this made me think about the church in early Acts. Say Acts 2. Let me read that real quick. Acts 2, 42 through 47. And they devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching and the fellowship of the breaking of bread and prayers. And awe came upon them, every soul, and many wonders and signs were being done through the apostles. And all who believed were together and had all things in common. And they were selling their possessions and belongings and distributing the proceeds to all as they had need. And day by day, attending the temple together and breaking bread in their homes, they received their food with glad and generous hearts, praising God and having favor with all people. And the Lord added to their number day by day to those who were saved. The early church was made up of Jews. In this passage, we are talking about Jewish people. We're not talking about Gentiles. We're not talking about Greeks or anyone else. We're talking about people who grew up learning the Torah, learning the books of the Tanakh, the people who went to temple every Saturday, the people who studied under the same people who were behind Jesus' demise. You have to put yourself in their mindset of, at this time, they have family members who don't want to be around them. They have people who have rejected them. They have people who don't agree with them and will argue with them in the street. It even progresses so much later that they are being stoned. They're being outcast. At this point, that has not started happening yet. The being outcast from families maybe, but the excessive outcasting, the excessive, killing them for their beliefs had not yet started on a large scale basis. And here in America, that can be hard to wrap our heads around because we don't have that here. We don't have people who want to kill us for our beliefs yet. We don't have that. And some countries do, but it's not here. So we have to take that into account when we read this. These people, these early Christians, had been outcast. They were mocked. They were hated. And they found family and community with each other. They would go to temple and they would spend the time talking to each other, being with each other. It says that they had all things in common. And it wasn't that they just agreed on everything. It wasn't that they lived in a way where they did everything the same. It wasn't a mindless, rote, hey, we're doing this all the exact same way. We're going to wear the same clothes. We're going to do the same things. It was that they had all things in common, meaning they had come together, they were living together, they were doing life together because of their common belief. This is something that they have in common with Barnum's troop. These people had been outcast. They literally lost their building because somebody threw in a glass bottle with oil and fire. I guess it's a bomb-ish type, maybe an old school thing. And they burned the building down because they wanted these people out of the city. But they had family, they had community together. This is something that we need to work on today. We need to have community with one another. We need to have family with one another. Hebrews 10:25. Not neglecting to meet together as a habit of some, but encourage one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near. We have to fellowship with other believers and be there for them. And sometimes that's scary because it's opening yourself up to them. It's opening yourself up to other people. And maybe you found a great community of believers online. Dallas and I love the fact that we have such a great community that is surrounding Geek Devotions. We have friends and people that we are doing life with and ministry with on a regular basis, and we love that. But we also have a community of believers in our personal lives who can see us and talk to us and go, "Are you okay? What's going on? Is everything good? How is life?" And we have that relationship with them that we trust them enough to let them know when life is good and when life is not good. So I can hear you asking me, "Celeste, what is the definition of community? What are you talking about? What's going on here? How do we break this down and live this out practically?" So for me, community breaks down into 3 parts: fellowship, confession or honesty, and accountability. Fellowship is a natural one. You hang out, you talk, you play the same games, you watch the same movies, you talk about books. That's the easy part, because if you have something in common, then it's easy to talk about. You know, maybe we just have our faith in common, and that's okay. That is totally cool, but it gives you a grounds of something to talk about. So it's easier to fellowship. Then you have confession or honesty. And that's what I was saying earlier about we have people in our lives that can go, "Hey, how's it going?" And we can be real with them. We can let them know if it's been a bad day. We can let them know if it's been a bad month. We can let people know our struggles, and they can let us know their struggles, so that we are able to be there for each other. And then accountability comes into play. When you tell people, "I'm struggling with this, I'm dealing with this," they come back later and go, "Hey, how are you doing with this?" And that's the part that gets tricky, because while you want community with everybody, we're not telling you to go blasting your business all over Facebook. There's some things that just need to be with specific people. But you can still have community with someone even if they don't know all your business. You can let someone know that there's stuff going on in your life without telling them exactly what's going on. So we are not proponents of posting everything on the internet, letting everybody know everything. We're actually pretty private people, but we do have community with others so that we can go, I'm struggling, and they can pray for us, and then later go, well, how's it going now? How are you doing now? And that's a level of authenticity that you need with people. Being real, being honest when you confess. Even if it's just I'm not having a great day. I have some stuff going on, but it's not been a good day. Instead of just being, oh yeah, I'm fine, everything's great. Because that's not authentic. That's not real. And if you're gonna let someone into your community, you have to be real with them. Okay guys, that was your devotion for the day. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to check out all of our other stuff. There will be a podcast on Greatest Showman next week. We're super excited about that. We are coming to the end of our quarantine podcasts, so that's going to be fun. It's time for the question of the week. So the question of the week is, if you could take any historical figure and make a musical out of their life, who would it be? I'm intrigued to know. I have a few people I think would be pretty good musical stuff, but I want to know your answer. Leave it in the comments down below. Message us through Facebook, message us through Instagram. Just drop it in the Devoted Geek Life and get everybody's responses. So we love to hear from you because we love the community we have built. All that being said, stay devoted, peace, and love.